Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be working on a butterfly design. It's going to be quite a complex design really, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to simplify it. These are the crystals I'm going to use. I was going to use some pearls, but I end up not using those. I'm going to be using a size 10 beading needle, and I'm going to be using this monofilament thread. It's a 3-pound monofill line I'm going to be using. I'm going to be testing it out. You can use the regular fire line or Nemo thread. Another advantage to using this is that it is going to completely disappear when I add beads. To get my design, I placed my first surround crystal on a piece of paper and then I drew around it. I made sure both lines were straight as I did so I could later be symmetrical with the wings. I just drew the one half of the butterfly and then folded my paper in half and cut it to get a nice symmetrical design. I then placed it on the paper and drew around it, and then I put on the halfway lines just so I knew where to fold the bit of felt to make sure I got an even design on here too, just a double check. Here we see I'm folding my piece in half so I can make doubly sure I'm going to get the same on both sides. Then cut around your piece. Now we have our piece cut out. Put this away for later because we can use this for our scrappy earrings. I will put a card up there for that. See, this piece here would be perfect. Don't forget to have a look at that. So the very first thing I'm going to do to add a little bit of extra security to this design is I'm going to use a very small amount of glue on just the larger sew-on crystals. I'm going to be using E6000 Plus, as that's my main go-to. You can use whatever glue you regularly use. Obviously, first things first, we need to line up our crystals how we want and try our best to make those as even as possible. Once you're happy with the layout, go ahead and use the tiniest amount of glue. You really only want a small amount, just to add a little extra security before sewing. Once you are happy with the positioning of all these, you just need to leave it for a minimum of 1 hour so that the pieces won't move while you're trying to sew them on. Once that glue has dried, we're just going to come back in and sew and secure these in place. And the first thing I'm going to do is tie my thread on. And now that's attached, we're just going to come through and attach our crystals. I will do the first one with you and you will do the rest without me. And just because I like to keep things extra secure, I will do this 2 or 3 times for each crystal. Well, that is all our crystals glued and sewn in place, and now I want to go around the center crystal with a row of beads. I'm using a Toho 80 bead in metallic nebula for this. I'm going to be using a simple back stitch, and I'm going to be using 4 at a time. Once that is complete, I'm going to look at filling in this top line here, and I think to do that I'm going to use some beautiful crystals, some 2x3mm crystal rondelles. I think these would make a lovely crown effect on the head here. To add the crystal rondelles, I'm going to gauge how many I'm going to need. I believe I'm going to need around 8 or 9, and then I'm going to attach them all at once and secure them with a few extra stitches. You can go on securing these in place until you're happy with the arrangement up top. And now we have completed that part, it is time to move on to the bullion wire. And for this I'm going to outline the entire wing's edges. Originally getting the bullion wire fastened can be a bit of a pain, but once you have it attached it is quite easy to work with. You just put it where you want it and sew a little over it. I would have probably made it a little easier for myself had I cut it, but I don't really like to cut it until I'm ready to save on wastage as much as possible. Now you want to just hold your thumb over it and give it a little pull, and you should feel or hear a little tiny click, and you will hear that's how you know it has gone between the coils and really attached. I will attach a little more with you and then come back at the end of this wing to show you how I finish it off. And meet me back at the end of the wing and I will show you how we're going to finish it off. Now we're at the end, and as you can see I still haven't cut, but now is the perfect time to cut because I know I'm not going to be wasting any. So come in where you want to cut, snip it off, and now it's just a case of attaching that last end. And once you've completed that, you just want to go ahead and do the other 4 wings. And now I'm back after doing all 4. I hope you've had a chance to do your 4. We're going to start working on the veining. Now I am going to do 1/2 of the butterfly at a time, and I will show you why when we get to the second half of the butterfly. And the first thing I'm going to do is make the veining with this square French bullion. For this part you can go along with me on this video, or you can completely make up your own veining. I had almost forgotten about adding these crystals right at the start of the wing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now quickly. You want to make sure you get this in the place that you want it, so that you can get it in the same place on the other side. Then match the other side with your other blue crystal, like so. And now I'm going to add on the other 2 coloured crystals, and I'm going to add these both at the same time to keep them in line. And again, match this on the other side. And now it's time to start adding our veining. I'm going to start in the center and work my way out. I want it to appear as though the vein is coming out of the corner of this gem here. As you can see, I missed on that pass, so I'm just going to go again and try a second time, because you can cause more hassles for yourself trying to unravel everything all the time, so I just gave it another second pass. And this time I managed to catch it, so I can go ahead and attach the vein the rest of the way down. Trim when ready. I'm trimming just off camera here, just in the center of the heart. And then continue to add the vein. Just a little tip, you can use your needle to stab the bullion wire like this to hold it in place, so you can slip the thread down between the coils more easily, just like that. And now we are ready to just cinch in and shape this vein. Any touching up you want to do sooner rather than later. If anything you don't like or you want to change, always change it sooner, or it's best not to change it at all. Now to work on a little more veining, I want this to come through here like so. To attach these pieces, because they are much smaller, I am going to cut them first and I'm going to thread them on like a bead and then secure. And now the final vein for this wing, I'm going to do the same thing again. I decide to go ahead and add another small vein here to break the wing up into a few more sections. All the remaining veins will be added in the same way, in a bead-like way, and then secured. And now it's time to start adding beads. The first beads I'm going to start with are the same 8/0 metallic nebula tohos that I surrounded the crystal in, and I'm going to follow the entire roof of the wing along in this bead. I'm going to be using a simple backstitch throughout this project. For this tiny corner, I'm going to use an 11/0 of the same colour. And now to fill in this bit here with some more 8/0s. And I'm going to start in the corner here with an 11/0. After adding the 11/0, I'm then going to add in 6 8/0s and another 11/0 in the other corner. And now I'm going to move on to the next panel, and I'm going to do much the same throughout this whole wing. I'm just going to backstitch on my colours, and I will fast forward through this because I feel like we know the backstitch by now, but I still want to show you. Here I changed direction to keep some dimension into the piece. And again I'm going to change the direction that I'm adding the beads for more dimension. And that is the top right wing completed. Now do the exact same thing for our bottom wing. Fill it in using the back stitch, and I will meet you when you've done that. And there we have it. Now that we have one half of our butterfly complete, the aim of the game is to copy this half's beads, not the veining, the beads, and then we're going to put the veining in after, and this is going to help us keep it much more symmetrical, or helps me keep it much more symmetrical than trying to fit the beads around the veining. Here I am counting the beads on the other side, so I know how many beads I have to add on this side to keep things even. So now that I have added those beads, I'm going to add the veining. And I hope it starts to become clear now how this helps me keep everything nice and even rather than guessing where this wire has to go. And now you want to repeat this exact process over the remaining wings. Count the beads and the rows and copy it on the other side, and then put in your veins. And with all that done, it is now time to tie off. And that is our design complete, which is stunning by the way. And now to work on our back, I'm going to be using this reclaimed leather and to place it on my piece here in the best position that's least wasteful, draw around it and then cut that shape out. And now that I've cut that out, I'm going to add the brooch back. So I'm going to grab my brooch finding, I'm going to line it up in the middle, the right way up. I'm then going to grab some of the leather that I just used, but a cut up bit like this. And I'm going to measure myself out a small rectangle. You want to measure it out so that you have enough sewing space on either side of this brooch. And then cut off the excess pieces. Keep it nice and as straight as you can to keep it neat. Then grab your finding, the piece of fabric that you've just made, the piece of leather, and you want to check that fits all nicely and neatly together. And then you want to get your E6000 or your glue that you're using and put a little bit on there, smother it around, and you want to leave that to dry for again about an hour. And then line it up nice and slowly and carefully to again keep it neat. Now that our glue is all dry, we can go ahead and stitch it on for that little bit of extra security. I do find this is a really nice neat finish personally, as long as you're slow and take it easy with it and don't try to rush it. And now that that's complete, we're going to glue it to the back of our work. So you want to grab your E6000 and you want to use quite a good amount, not too too much, but enough so that what soaks into the felt can be compensated for. And then just use a scrap piece of wire or something like that to spread it around. Once you've spread your glue around, grab the brooch piece we've just made and simply stick that nice and evenly to the back of the work. Give it a good press, and then you want to leave that, like previous things, for at least an hour, so it's not going to move around and leave a messy sticky residue on your needle and thread. Now that we are dry and back, it is time to start our edging. I'm going to start off on the wings with a picot edging, and to do that we start by grabbing one bead, grabbing our needle and thread and just popping the needle through our work. Pick a starting point. I'm picking this wing. Come towards the end of the thread, but not all the way. Leave yourself a little working thread at the end, about 10 centimeters long or so, just for tying off into the other beads. And then once you have done that, you're going to get your needle and come back up through that bead again. And now for the picot edge, you want to grab 2 more beads, go through your work, make sure you're catching your backing, pull taut, and then go back up through the first bead there. I will do a couple of rounds with you until it's a little tighter, just so you can see what's going on and how this is going to form. Grab 2 beads, go through your work, making sure you catch the back. And then back up just the first seed bead. And pull taut. Grab 2 through the work, catch the back, back up through the first bead. Pull taut. Do this all the way around the wing and meet me back at the body. Now for the body, I'm going to go back into regular edging, and for that I'm going to just use one bead, go through my work, catch the back and go up through that bead again. Same thing all the way along for this body. We're picking up one bead, going through the work, catch the back and then go back up through that same bead. And now to jump back into the picot, we're going to start out with just one bead onto the edge of the wing here. And now we're going to start adding two. And that takes us back into our picot edging. Do that all the way around and meet me at the end to tie off. Now I'm at the end, you can see me coming out of that bead there. And now I'm going to just enter a few beads on this side, tie off, and then show you how I get rid of the tail or hide the tail. Now I've tied off a couple of times to hide the thread. I'm simply going to feel my way around here and pass between these layers, and I'm going to pop out the back in a random place, and I'm simply going to trim the thread and it is going to completely disappear. See how that has completely gone, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to tie it off a couple of times and then get rid of the thread. I'm not going to do that on the video because I feel like the video is going to be long enough. I'm glad you joined me for this video. I hope you will join me for more. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like and subscribe for more of the same. Have a good day. Please take care and stay safe. Bye everybody.